this week. Looks like G4 has now entered in the final conversations with Olivia Munn for the Attack of the Show returning. Boys,
Oh, yeah.
what do we think about that? What are we going to do?
You said the key word, bro. You said Olivia Munn. I'm all in. I'm all in.
I'm just like, we hear all this news about her. What happened to Kevin? Where's our boy Kevin?
Yeah, it took us a little while just to remember who he was. So,
I think he's going to be relegated to working with his sister on what used to be True TV, doing his little life hacks.
To G4. Do life hacks on G4.
Did we bring back the oldies? Bring them back in just a little bit?
I think on all honesty, it'd be really nice to see the group back together. I think they made a really good pair back in the early 2000s. They were a really good team. And it was for me, it was kind of sudden because I think I discovered G4 TV kind of random, considering I've been a gamer my entire life. But by the same token, I fell in love with Attack of the Show, and then sooner or later it was done, man. It was maybe 6-7 months after I had started watching it. They did their last episode, and I was kind of like, what? Like, I kind of felt like at that time gaming itself was taking a huge step, and then it just disappeared.
It's funny how that when we first found out about G4, and the very next thing was not what kind of shows are they going to have, what's the content, are they going to be doing this? Nope, is Olivia Munn coming back? Like that was like the first thing.
Because think about it, she's the only thing that grew out of that show, right? When she left it, she's became a little bit of an actress. Got some good roles.
A little bit.
At least she got a comic role, right?
She got out there.
Kevin. Come on.
Yes, more than Kevin. Definitely got out there. She was in the spotlight more, but she's Olivia
funny,
Munn.
She's pretty. She's into the culture. She's part of it. I think it's a good fit to have her come back. What they're really gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the relationship between Kevin Pereira and the network, or how everything went at the end. But just because the fact that they're talking about bringing her on already just shows that she made a huge impact, and I'm hoping that Kevin Pereira made a good impact as well to bring him back. Chris Hardwick was also an announcer for G4 TV. Morgan Webb was also really good, and they had some really good people. Dude, I remember them because they were really good at what they did. Whenever they came on, everyone had their own personalities that added to the gaming culture, geek culture, whatever, and it was fun.
It was fun, but like some of those names were off limits. Like you don't see Hardwick anywhere nowadays, just because of all the commotion about the
sexual allegations,
sexual assault or whatnot, and just basically,
I don't know whatever became of that.
I don't know if it was validated or not, but like it's. I hope they have good content, just like how you mentioned. Like they had a nice cultural cross. You could watch, and it wasn't just strictly only gaming. Had the nerdy aspects of some of those shows that we love, and it was good to see those things branch off. But like all things, they have to come to an end. So we'll see how this beginning is going to start out. So also talking like that, Laswell Jones. Those who don't know, he's a veteran of Rockstar for the last 20 years. He's been an instrumental part in developing a lot of the GTAs. He's one of the DJs and primary writers for the show. He's left Rockstar now to go work with Disney to do some in-game development shows with them, and then also some other TV aspects with Netflix, and then still while consulting with video game industry. So that's pretty interesting to see someone leave gaming and then go into TV. You don't see that a lot.
Disney's taking over the world, so.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when Disney calls, you pack your shit up and go.
When Disney calls.
When Disney calls, if Disney were to call me right now, guys, I'm out.
He's like,
I'm fucking out.
Those other two guys, I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Snow White?
That one guy in the red shirt and
like,
that guy with the road going through his mouth. Yeah, no, I want you.
I want you in your background here now.
So if Disney came to us, and we would say yes and totally go with them.
Yeah, bro. We become the Joe Rogan of Disney. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen, really.
I'd be like, hey, guys, can you take me out to the ranch? I want to see that.
To the what?
I want to see the Skywalker Ranch. Come on.
I was thinking it was a different ranch.
That's Spielberg's. Disney ain't going to fucking take you out there. Disney's gonna leave you in the dust. They're gonna be like, you know what? We're taking you to It's a Small World. That's it.
Oh.
Ride the ride.
Gonna pants
Enjoy
you.
it.
Gonna pants
Enjoy,
you. On
enjoy
Space
it.
Mountain. You're gonna
Ooh.
like it.
I'm wondering what he's gonna develop for. You said Disney and for Netflix, right? I mean,
Yeah, so he's going to be consulting with some of the television aspects that they got going on, which is pretty cool because he brought a really great flavor to GTA's. You know that very first one, it was just basically just shoot 'em up, rob people,
yeah.
hang out with some hookers in an alley. But you can see how the game expanded.
I
And
never did that side quest.
bro, you were the first person. You're like,
So you
check
probably
out
never
this
did
hot
that. Oh,
coffee.
no.
He's like,
Yes,
let me show
I
you
was-
right now.
I was gonna say
Come
hot
over to my
coffee,
house
bro.
now, bro.
Hot
He's
coffee.
Like, hot
That's right.
coffee. He's like,
Hot coffee.
look at these bland figures smack each other. Look how awesome
Mhm.
it is.
Listen to the sound. It's authentic.
Oh my god.
It's authentic. So speaking of Netflix, just because we're just mentioning Laswell going into that stuff, haven't you guys seen any new movies?
Spit
on
it out.
Netflix?
Spit it out.
Project Power. Have you guys seen the trailer?
I've seen the
We
trailer.
talked about the trailer.
We
We
talked
had it
about
on
the
the
trailer.
show. How little do you remember?
It's just he's excited about it. That's all.
I saw it already because I remembered. Did you guys see it?
Well, please give us your
gonna watch
review
it.
Shush.
on this movie.
So so wait till you guys watch it. We'll review it next time. We'll let you guys. We'll see what you guys think. I want y'all's input. So we'll give that a go. I recommend it.
You're not gonna go. Okay, I was gonna say you're not gonna go out on a limb and recommend this. Like,
I mean, I definitely recommend it. It's entertaining. Everyone's taste of movies is different, so it just depends on what your flavor is. I know Jag is extremely critical.
Wow.
Yeah, I like plot. Something that makes a movie together, just ties it together.
But then why do you guys like Star Wars? Then?
This comes
climax.
Oh dang! Why do you like Star Wars? Oh my God, Bello, dang, that hurt,
like,
bro.
pew, pew,
Oh my God. Set my phaser to stun. Jeez.
Exactly.
It's like Star Trek's always so salty. It's like the second place person. It's always
I have a
like,
feeling.
they're like, I could have been first.
I have a feeling Bello says that in the bedroom. He's like, oh yeah.
Being and all the nerds, between the two of you, we're still the ones that get picked on. You getting picked on from Star Wars people just because, like, oh, I love my Darth Vader. Come on.
Oh my God.
There's a spectrum in Star Wars too, man. There's some like, and there's normal people on the end.
One family that screwed up the whole thing, and let's make a movie about it.
Even in families, you got that one dur, and then you got the regular everyone else.
The new was that dur.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty much.
Coming from the guy whose favorite line in the bedroom is "Set my phaser to stun." I'm ready.
I'm trying to give it all I got.
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
That's pretty wrong. Well, keep going further, talking about movies and stuff. What do you guys think about AMC wanting to bring back people and charging 15 cents?
They're fucking reaching, bro. They're fucking reaching. It's such a. I mean, hey, 15-cent movies. I mean, my whole curiosity is
one day. It's not even like it's 15-cent movies, and it's not even a real movie. It's all like stuff you can watch on Netflix and stuff. It's like it's not even anything new. It's like, hey, remember those films we got upstairs on the second floor? Let's dust off a couple of them and let's throw one of them on.
Man. I mean, that whole
Corona and dust.
So I didn't even read the article because I was not even remotely interested. My whole deal is if you're having to open a theater and do 15-cent days, it's like, if that's not a sign that says I'm struggling, give me some money, please. I don't know what is, And hey, man, I get that they got to do what they got to do, but I'm sorry, bro. I'm hoping that there's a lot of wise people out there that understand the severity. And going to a theater right now is just not the best option.
There's going to be people they're going to go. They're going to go. And the thing is that the movie theaters, they don't make the money off of the ticket.
They make it off the concessions, which is what they're using to bring you in. 15 cents, but hey, don't you want to have some popcorn when you watch that old movie? Don't you want some milk chocolate almonds?
I don't know about you, but I'd be always choking on that popcorn. I'm gonna be coughing, and I'm gonna have somebody else
Bro, you have
maybe
a
6 feet maybe away. No,
It's
calm down.
it's
your
it's
gag reflex.
Oh, turn it up, dude.
Woo! I
Wow,
said it. I said it. I
that's
said it.
fire. That's
man.
fire.
Anything in his mouth and he just starts gagging. He's
Yeah.
no fun.
So
He's
unusual.
no fun.
Yeah.
No fun.
All it is. It is.
Just tears constantly. Fill out with tears.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
So good.
oh my god.
I think it just speaks to the overall, like, you're right. I think they're reaching. They don't know what it's going to look like. There's reports that, like, even now with all the COVID, it's going to even start costing us more and more money to go to movie theaters. So, like, all that cleaning fees and stuff that they're just going to pass that on to
That's
the
true.
consumer. So you're going to probably, you remember when, like, I remember we used to get a ticket for like $6 and then it's like 9 and then it's 12. Now it's like going to be like 20, 25. So it's
$20.
almost going to be like what you would be if you bought the damn thing. So they're struggling. The model is struggling just in general because you know, now you had all those types of theaters that have food come out, you know, where you can serve, you got the big comfy seats. No one wants to be in just like general seating. So it's,
Yeah, no one wants to be in that, man. Totally. I
I
agree
want
with
to
you,
know
man.
what my seat is when I'm sitting in that bitch. So,
So yeah, I agree with that, man. So what else we got? What other kind of news are we dropping? What are we?
So some desperate news that the Speedy and Noob don't want to talk about, but I'll bring it
That's
along.
not true. That's not true, Bello. Tell us
You're,
what's
you
tell
guys
us
are
what's on your mind.
slowly bringing it. No, there was just some news. You know, people are getting too excited, like Noob, that you know, that they're wanting to do a Star Trek musical, but it's not a musical. It's having to do with the short treks. So if you don't know what that is, short treks is just like a 15-minute show at the most. It's short.
Tops.
That's what they call you.
And they're just, and so this is with, you know, Alex Kurtzman, is just because, you know, they had gotten nominated for an Emmy Award, so they had did a good job. So now they're just wanting to expand on that. And so what he's saying is that, you know, in those short treks, he's wanting to, you know, face along with, you know, doing a short trek that's, you know, a musical, or maybe do a short trek that's like a black and white, you know.
So, so was the information like, are they going to be releasing these like via video, or is it going to be something that
It's still on the CBS All Access, so
okay?
that's where all the, unfortunately or fortunately, all the Trek shows are coming from, is from the CBS All Access, and they're just little shows that, you know, like, that you wouldn't be able to put into like the new Star Trek, or, you know, even with Lower Decks or something like that. It's just something that's that's still in the Star Trek universe. That's just a
Just
little
off in its
episode.
own spot, kind of.
Yeah, he put it here perfectly. Like, it's kind of like, you know, like the old kind of Twilight Zone episodes, where it's just like a really short episode, but it has, like, you know, has some character to it. And I mean, it shows because they got the Emmy Award. I mean, yeah, they got nominated for the Emmy Award.
You know, I think it speaks to them just trying to shotgun out a lot of different things and seeing what people like. So, you know, that's good. It's commending, you know, like trying to bring in more of a customer base,
Yeah.
or
Like the 80s and 90s, like
80s
Well,
and
what-
90s.
like the elderly generation,
Wow.
to bring them out. There's
80s
go
and
hurts. I
Bring
don't
them
know why
back.
he said that, man.
Well, what I think is
So-
You know,
so
we're
my
part of the
thing-
80s and 90s, right?
Yeah. So
Jeez
my thing is,
Louise.
you were 80s, bro.
I meant to say 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds, but it
Wow.
came out 80s and 90s. So hey, it's all good. But let me ask you this,
Red face yourself
fellow. I'm curious, what song do you want to see made into a musical?
Wow. Wow. Maybe a Star Trek version of Wicked. I mean, go a little Broadway. You know, I don't know. I don't know.
So
Man,
is it gonna be like, I'm giving it all, she's God Captain,
pretty
or
much,
like
probably.
is that
Well, so here's a weird little thing, because as I've told you guys many times before, there's a bunch of new Star Trek shows coming out. So there's Lower Decks, right? And the two of you have I've watched it.
It's funny.
It's a good show.
But
It is.
So Lower Decks came from a show from back in TNG, but they tried it out with the short treks. There was one animated short trek in there. So I think what Short Trek does for the Star Trek universe.
What is Short Trek? I'm so sorry. What is
short? You need to go watch it. Go to CBS All Access. It's just small, short episodes from a Star Trek universe. It's not specifically towards a specific series. Like
right?
one of them, they were showing about like if you remember the trebles, those little
Right.
little furry things. It showed kind of like where it all started from, like who started it.
So if I want to just like to see like a culmination of like short treks, could I just find something that's like the shortest trek?
Always something, man.
He's an asshole. Like it's like he's like, what can I turn just a little bit?
Yeah,
more
I just
Wow.
a little. I'm just tweaking. I'm just tweaking.
I'm just wondering if you have like Darth Vader's like face like all over your chest. Just,
It's on his nip.
It's on my nip. Yeah. Actually, it's Chewbacca. It's Chewbacca's face, but my nipple's all hairy. So it's just
just shakes it.
Just shake it.
I think it's a cool idea just because it can help lead to some other stuff, right? Like
and that's what I'm saying. That's what it's doing.
It's don't have hairy nipples,
stuff.
by the way.
He's just got one hairy one. That's it.
Just one.
Nipples. Just one. It's very odd, and it's in the middle.
So this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think it's just kind of, I'm wondering, with the whole Star Trek thing and them attempting to come out, with the animated series, possible musical, the show Picard that's doing really, really well. I'm really hoping that they continue the movies. I was a huge fan of the movies, and I really hope they continue in whatever direction. I think J.J. Abrams is a great director, and with that series, I think he did a good job. So, see what happens.
As soon as we find out more, I'll make sure to bring it up, in our podcast.
That's right. Our Star Trek expert himself. You got it.
But going up against some other news that I have Speedy and Noob here that are Mr. Marvels, and some DC Fandom is going to be coming out next week. Yeah, you. Yeah. So DC Fandom is going to be going on for 24 hours. It starts next Saturday at I believe it's 2:00 Central Time, and they're going to be coming out with a bunch of stuff. They're going to have the Wonder Woman panel coming out. They're going to start talking about Shazam. They're going to talk about the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, there's tons of them out here. There's a Multiverse 101, introducing Flash, Beyond the Batman. Yep. The Legacy of the Bot. So the Joker put on a happy face. There's just a ton of stuff on here, and even Jim Lee's portfolio review of the DC supervillain art, fan art. So it looks like it runs all the way to midnight. Pale and I were discussing this earlier, and then they have some encores through the late mornings for those that are up to no good, just doing nothing. You can join in on those conversations. So
I'm waiting for Wonder Woman at this point. Just
I think we all are, bud.
Stop showing me trailers and stop showing me that. Just show me the damn movie. I think they've pushed that it's supposed to come out in October. Don't quote me on that though. I think it's October that they're gonna just finally release it.
I mean, the Wonder Woman series thus far has been a great series, great writing. I just think if they match that up against another female lead in the Marvel, which is, you have the Black Widow that hasn't come out yet, but what has Mrs. Captain Marvel, I think this one's way above what Captain Marvel was. So I'm really excited about seeing that, and so I also kind of like just the vibe of it, like that 80s vibe that they've been giving to it. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting thing.
And like I said, they're also going to be talking about the Shazam, the next one coming out, and the thing is that all these panels they're like 10, 15 minutes, so it's probably going to be like a quick clip, and then talk about it for 5 minutes, and then off to the next one. So. But hopefully we'll get a little snippet of some of the new stuff, like the Flash movie that's supposed to come out and everything else.
The Flash movies, are they going to be considering the same guy who played Flash in Justice League?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that would be awesome.
Yeah, he may not be there because of some past allegations, but we'll see what happens with that.
Ooh, something to talk about next week.
That's awesome. All right, guys. This week we have been playing the Marvel's Avengers beta. It's out right now. You can go ahead and play it. Myself, Speedy, have been playing on PlayStation. Sorry for you Xbox fans out there. It's a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. It gave it to you really good, but hey,
Spreading
it's
the
what
salt
happens,
around.
man.
Keep,
But
throwing it in the wound.
you flip a coin, you
I'm
get
not
heads or
kidding.
tails, guys.
Spider-Man,
Okay. See, that's salty right there. That right there, that's salt. That's what salt sounds like if it was real. Okay.
So I thought the beta had released on, at least for everybody, for this weekend. For those that pre-ordered it, so you can still get in, Bella.
Oh, thank you.
Swim around in it.
Yeah,
But
you
for
definitely
those
get
that are
in.
interested that don't get a part of it, you can always find it. Later on, we'll be dropping a vid of some of the
Gameplay.
some of the gameplay on our After Hours series. So just so you can be able to see some of that items that are out there in regards to this. It looks really good.
It is. You start out. Yeah, you start out playing with Thor, and you kind of go through the basic movements. His, just like different strengths as far as like the hit button combination, power moves, and then you gravitate over to Iron Man. And basically, throughout the beta, you just take the role of all the Avengers. You kind of get accustomed to them. I would have to say, I think my two favorites so far, although I think all the Avengers are awesome and they have like their own really cool special moves, is Iron Man and Hulk. I love Hulk, man. Hulk he just fucking demolishes everything. He's just smashing through shit. But the graphics are very well done. I can't help but think about the actual, like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, like all these people when you're playing the game. Because you want them to be them, because we've known them for years, the whole time that we've been, watching the movies, and now the game comes out, and it's just kind of this, hey, it is what it is, but it's just it's bittersweet, I would say, just because they're not them, and for me, I was like, dang, this will be Mark Ruffalo, Hulk, and playing and stuff, but the gameplay's awesome.
Yeah,
I really feel it doesn't matter Xbox or PlayStation.
I'll have to second that feeling because playing Thor, I'm like, oh man, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, that's not him. And then Robert Downey, Iron Man's face comes up. Yeah. So I had the same kind of feeling. I felt a little disappointed, but and overall, like the characters themselves, the way they roll, the gameplay was really well. The controls were good. I felt fluid. I'm just really interested in seeing when the game actually released, like how much it expands.
You felt fluid? You felt fluid? I'm glad. Playing the game was fluid for me, but I'm glad you felt fluid because
I didn't have any pants on.
Dehydrated.
I didn't have any pants on. I didn't have to go anywhere.
Wow.
There's just a rubber bucket underneath.
Rubber bucket.
Just felt the fluid. It just went.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's good stuff.
It is.
Think that these conversations are bad. You see the after hour stuff, and it's even worse. Even worse.
Oh my god, that was awesome. I wasn't gonna say anything until I saw Fellow's face, and I was like, now I gotta say something, because I was like, did I hear what I think I heard?
So your guys' eyes met, and then you were like,
oh yeah, it was instant. So we've been alongside for Marvel's Avengers, which is I feel is gonna be a really big hit. It really takes me back to Wolverine Origins back on the Xbox 360. That was another favorite game of mine that I ended up just loving. I played that game. Oh my god, man! I would just pick it up and just start thrashing. It was so fun. Avengers has that same feeling, so we'll definitely wait to see when it hits.
Just like the X-Men.
Another game that we have been playing, or we just started playing actually last night, it was Speedy and I, is Rogue Company. So for all of you guys that don't know Rogue Company, it's like a third person perspective. It's reminiscent of Counter-Strike. So I mean, like whenever you search around, you can like use money to like purchase weapons, perks, things like that. Right now with Epic, and I don't know if it's for everyone how it works out, but there's a $10 coupon that you can get right now, and for the Founders Edition starter pack for $14.99, it ends up breaking it down to like $5. So if you guys are curious, thinking about it, wanting to get it on either Nintendo, you can get it on Xbox, PS4. PC, you can be eligible for that $10 coupon. And if you just go with the, cheapest version, you can get it down to $5. So it's not a bad purchase. It's a really fun game. It's still in beta. They're doing a lot of changes to it. It's got a really good take, I believe, on the multiplayer system. When Speedy and I were playing it, it's very team oriented. There's only about 3 modes that you can play right now. There's a lot of different characters that bring a lot of different abilities to the table, especially when you're squatting up or trying to, strategize for a win. But it's not your typical Call of Duty-ish, just run and gun game. It's not a battle royale game, which seems to be everything that, people are putting out these days. It's really different. It's really fun. So if you're looking for a good multiplayer.
Yeah, and so far with the moments that we got, it's got that Counter-Strike. It's also got, that little flair with, everyone wants now with Fortnite selling those microtransactions to get the different skins and stuff that are associated with it. But the game modes that are out right now, it's still got a couple little bugs. I've run into a couple of them as I've played, but overall it's a pretty fun game. It's cross-play immediately right now, so that's a great thing. Hopefully we'll be able to see.
Thanks for telling me.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see some ability to limit who you're playing with, especially like consoles versus computers. But again, for that Epic coupon, you can only utilize that on the Epic store. So you probably can only get it for the computer version versus everything else. But it's just $15, and it drops you with some items on there too.
That's true. Okay, yeah, that very well may be true. I ended up getting it on PlayStation and PC. But yes, Speedy is right. It is cross-enabled right away. So for those people who are kind of on the flip side about maybe not doing it just because it's cross-play, we played and had a great time. Considering when the game comes out, it's supposed to be free. I'm kind of wondering now that we're talking about this, if a free game makes a huge difference as to whether or not those type of games have a lot of hackers, as opposed to like your AAA titles like Call of Duty Warzone. Well, Warzone is free too, but still it's Call of Duty in itself. So I'm just kind of curious, man, just really quick, what do you guys think?
I mean, I think anything that's on a computer has a hacker. So as long as
every game has hackers. My little one plays Roblox, and there's hackers in that game.
Yeah, like anything that's computer, done in that platform, it's always going to have some kind of hackers. That's why I hope they can limit that against consoles, because you don't necessarily always see that in consoles. Like it's not the old days and when you had the Game Shark, when you'd be able to punch in, like your 13454 code and do something to it.
Man, you're showing your age. You're showing your age there. I was thinking of like the Halo days when they would you'd pull out your network card out a little bit. And
Ren used to do that shit.
Wow.
Nude face. That was it. That was him in another life. Another.
Oh, that is I am Rinjin. If you guys are playing multiplayer and you got killed by somebody named Rinjin and he's teabagging you, that's this guy. That's this guy. Because that's what I'm going to do to your face, and I'm going to remind you that you should not cross paths with me and never 1v1 me. I'm just going to just all over you. All right? So mind yourself. Mind yourself. All right, on to the next topic, guys, which is
talking about Halo.
This is super disappointing, right? So Xbox announced that Halo is not going to be releasing with the brand new Xbox Series X. To me, this makes all the difference. This single piece of information literally made it for me. Like I'm honestly, I'm probably not going to get an Xbox Series X when it releases. I'm more than likely going to go PlayStation. And
they don't have anything with it now. Like that's
we have tons of games, but they're like, no.
It's the same shit over and over. It's Forza. We got Forza 10, guys. We just slapped the 10 on it, and it's
all the stuff that you can get right now. Like if you have the Game Pass or the Ultimate Pass, like you still have access to all that stuff. So it's like not new content; it's just prettier content. And honestly, like if you're gonna look at spending that much cash, like right off the bat, and if, let's just say you're just gonna pick one, or if you're gonna get two and you're gonna get the first one, like it doesn't really make me run out right now want to buy it as a first, because there's just nothing that's pertinent to exclusive to it that that makes the flagship of Microsoft.
Look, yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing 4K, right? They sprouted 120 hertz gaming, 4K. fucking top of the line titles. What do we get? We get Halo that doesn't even look like it was, that like a future game, right? It's older, and then we get 1080p 60 frames per second. I mean,
they are going to have some stuff, but it's not going to be anything. I think what we were really waiting for, because I know, I'm sorry, Speedy. Remember, so Destiny, Destiny, the new DLC, that's going to be coming out when the console comes out, and it's going to be 4K ready and everything. But like me, I'm waiting for Halo, and now to hear that it's getting pushed back, that just means I'm just going to push back on wanting to get it.
But okay, so Palo, like this, is Destiny going to be ready for the PlayStation 5 when it comes out too?
Yes.
So it's not like anything that's particularly for that one system. Like
right.
you have
and that's what I mean. Like Halo's for Xbox, and that was
and that's what everyone was looking for too, right? We haven't had a Halo in forever, right? We've had the remake that was supposed to give us like the gap in between it. So like this was going to be the thing for the next, for the last 10 years. Like this is going to be the thing.
Right.
And then they flop right on their face, and all the fans called them on it. And they told us, oh, it'll be ready, don't worry about it. And they couldn't get it. Like I honestly think that what we saw was just a little bit less than what they were projecting to run.
I guarantee you
to the press with, man.
Yeah, bro. I guarantee you that was more than likely a master copy. I mean, there's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it just,
they really just stepped over their bounds.
They did. Well, I mean, the only thing that pisses me off, man, is every showcase that Xbox had an opportunity to showcase something fantastic and really, truly show the power of the system and what it's capable of doing and what to expect. It was like a step backwards. Then the next time, another step backwards. Now this time, game's not coming out right away. That whole pyramid of shit is like, guys, it's like you're doing the exact same thing you did with the Xbox One. Same exact thing. I mean, luckily I got an Xbox One on release day. I got Need for Speed. I got Battlefield. I got Battlefield 3 at the time, and I loved it. But man, we have expectations now. You know what I'm saying? We're spending high quality money.
Well, they've been building these expectations for us, right? Talking about how much it can do, how much it can do.
That's the thing, is that they've been building up this big expectation. And considering what probably happened is again, because of the whole Corona thing, everybody's having to work from home, and there was just that big gap. But Xbox like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna still have the expectation, and then they just fell on their face. It just flopped.
Hey man, I'm really disappointed, and I'm more than likely gonna get a PlayStation first. And I think that's an actual first for me, because I've always gotten an Xbox first, but I'm really, really disappointed.
Like I'm always in that Xbox fanboy area. I had a PlayStation, one of the PS1s, PS2 before really the Xbox and the Xbox 360 came into its heyday. But like for me wise, like I'm not getting anything new if I'm getting a new system, right? I can still play all those old games. I still got access to them either on the one or on the computer, which is a great service. And we even talked about the xCloud issue last week, but I'm just don't have anything new to play with it. And so like I'm disappointed, and that's why now if I'm gonna spend money, I'm not saying that I am right now. That's what I'd probably lean PlayStation, but I think I'm going to hold back a little bit just to see what actually happens there.
Yeah, if anything changes, I mean, I'd be really thoroughly happily surprised to say. But as things are looking right now, I think PlayStation's getting my vote.
How much do you guys even think that like Xbox and or the PlayStation are going to even go for? Because they haven't even
600 easy.
I think
6 or 7
with the amount that they're approaching like computing. Yeah, I think it's
they're supposed to be coming out, because Xbox is supposed to be coming out with the light version. I don't know about PlayStation though.
I think the light version is going to be 5. I think the retail
5?
version of the
So we're talking like $4.99. I don't think it's going to be at the same level these systems have been.
Oh no. That's
I mean,
the light version.
So they'll have downgraded chips and whatnot and everything. I mean.
And it's going to be all digital for the Xbox, because I think.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm honestly we'll have to see. But like, why? I don't really understand the whole reasoning for a light system right out the gate when you're trying to give everybody an opportunity. When are they not still going to have the Xbox Ones available or no?
No, they
Oh, they
stopped.
stopped.
They stopped
Oh, they
production.
stopped.
They
So
stopped.
that's kind of like the other thing. They're forcing Microsoft, like making all these
Then
behind the
that's
scenes
okay.
moves, and then so they've stopped production on that. Now it's only going to be the new system or the S. I think that released
The
right.
Xbox One S, right?
Yeah, the
Right.
One S. So like that's it. That's all you got until now you're getting to the next system. And so like I think they're positioned themselves to kind of almost force it onto you, like
Yeah.
get to this decision. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm cool now. Like at first I wasn't a big fan of the all digital. Like I wasn't a huge fan, but like movies wise now, like that's what I love is only all digital. Gaming, I'm getting there. Half my stuff is, half my stuff isn't. But like I just feel like when you remove it from it, only if as much as they're becoming like a computer, like if you gave me the ability so that I could hook up my own portable drive to it and then use a disc, like then I think that would even be in like a feature that would get me closer to buying something that was just all digital, right?
I mean, when
Because
was
I
the
got a
last time
Blu-ray
that
player
you
down
bought?
here that I ain't using.
When was the last time that you bought a physical game?
The physical, I bought the Last of Us 2 physical because like
I can't
games I
remember
know,
personally. I can't remember the
the
last time.
games I don't play, I know it's a story that I'm going to enjoy quite a bit, and at the end of it, like I'm just not going to have another like I'm not going to play the game like 6 times in a row like I did Resident Evil, you know, to get like every single thing to get to like the ultimate
The grind.
story ending. Yeah, I'm just not. So those I typically pick up as a disc, so then I can just sell it after that point. You know, right?
like
Whereas
it.
the other digital stuff, like stuff I'm going to play over and over and over and over, then I'll keep it as a fully digital copy.
I'm just yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with Xbox. But as you know, like I said, for right now, Xbox is really teetering on the edge of going back to the same old shit. So, but with that being said, I got a question for you guys.
Grab it.
You guys like apples?
Nope.
I like them apples.
How do you like these apples? Epic, man. Let's talk about this shit, guys. This
Let's talk about the
is a
cojones
massive.
on Epic.
The cojones on Epic. Puro gargantuan. Jesus. It's massive, man. So Epic throws
Grande.
a huge middle finger to Apple and Google, guys. I think this all took
Apple in the morning
everyone
and Google in the
by
afternoon.
Yeah.
this took everybody by surprise.
They
You
were
know,
ready.
it's really
Epic was ready for it.
it's really funny. I was when this happened, I was talking to a good friend of mine, other Jesus, and we're kind of going back and forth on this whole deal. I was really staying neutral because I really felt like I didn't know the whole gist of everything, you know. And you know, he was all about Apple, you know, and I can understand both sides, but immediately, like just hearing the title of what happened, just boom, right off the bat, I immediately knew it had to do something with their transactions or currency or something around that, and how Apple handles the business. And let's talk about that shit, guys. So throw it down really quick. Apple takes 30% from developers, right? So that
Everything.
means of everything. So that means Epic right now, guys, when you're playing Fortnite, right? And here's the deal. I do not like Fortnite. I am not a Fortnite person. But when it comes to this,
Do you have an account?
honestly,
Do you have an
honest.
account? Do you have an account?
I do have an account, and I have some rare outfits. So if you guys want to buy
You
them,
do have a Batman.
you
You
slip
do have
into
a
the
Batman
DMs.
outfit,
I do
right?
have a Batman outfit. Slip into the DMs.
Mhm.
Let me know what you're gonna pay, and
You were playing. You bought the full Apple.
I did. But here's the thing, man. So check this out. So Apple takes this 30% cut right out of everything, right? So we have Epic right now. You can play Fortnite on your PC, you know, whatever, and you can go through Epic's. You know, the Epic will take you to their currency, their checkout system. You know, where you can buy their what is it? V-Bucks, right?
Yeah, the V-Bucks for it.
You can buy V-Bucks
Specifically
for it, right?
just for Fortnite, right?
Yes,
Because
right. Specifically for Fortnite, no biggie, right? So what Apple does is instead of just going, you know, to Epic's deal, they have you go through Apple's checkout system, you know, in which they take their cut and vice versa, whatever.
same
So
thing
this
with
is
Google.
Same thing with Google, very much
Mhm.
so, very much so. The same with Google. Now, the whole idea. Now, this is where I think it gets a little tricky, but this is where I kind of like it, where it gets gritty. Is I think Google did what they did to kind of follow suit with Apple.
Yeah, they
Granted,
followed
I
it.
think. And granted, I know that's still the whole statute or the contract, breach of contract that they have between Google and Apple is still the same. I think this is a huge fight with Apple. Apple, period. I think that's what personally this is. I mean, they were ready, man. They
But they
released
had
that
that video. They had that
1984. It was a 1984 commercial redone in Fortnite graphics about the same topic that Apple was fighting in 1984, and it was pretty powerful, man. How do you guys feel about this shit? I mean, for real, how do you feel?
Pillow, throw it out there.
Well,
Tell me, Pillow.
let me ask you a question, because I went and I read it, but what about, I mean, because we talk about like it's on PC and it's on consoles.
Right.
Don't the consoles, PlayStation and Xbox, don't they get a cut? Why aren't they attacking them?
I think they do, but it's not as big as a cut because like Google and Apple is straight 30%.
30%, right?
It doesn't matter, like 30%. Like if you bought the app and then like every transaction, so like every dollar that you spend in there is 30% right off the bat. And so
I mean, because every transaction I know Bell's Android, and with Apple, I don't know how Android works, so I don't know.
Same thing
but I'll
with
tell you.
Google.
It's the same thing.
But
Yeah.
okay, so like
As far as
whenever
the
you,
transaction.
well, yes, but I'm talking about like, let's just hypothetically say you download like Photoshop, right, from Google Play, right, and then you want to purchase their licensing for like, what is it, a month? It's like $10 a month. Does the payment option go through Google Pay or is it through Adobe? That's what I'm curious about.
Well,
Because
I mean,
with Apple, everything is Apple. Like every single thing you
It's
do.
the same thing with Google.
Same
So
Okay.
thing.
like
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
same
Google,
thing.
Okay.
like Apple was the leader, right? So if you're going to start competing with them, you're either going to either match them. Like they basically, this is the whole thing that Epic has said with them is that they've created like an anti-competition environment. So like there's like antitrust into that area because they want to take everything. So that's why like when you buy, like I don't know if you guys ever experienced, like if you were ever going to buy something on Amazon to watch, like on their app, you have to go into the computer, buy it from Amazon, and then it'll show up that you can watch it on like the Apple TV, which is a big pain in the ass whenever you're trying to watch stuff like that. The whole thing is just like the amount, because they own the phone and they own the store, they control
Iowa.
everything. And so
They control everything you view and do, which is, I think, where the antitrust comes in. Is they want to have that leniency.
The anti-competition comes in really because is that while they're doing this to all the other developers, they're not doing this to their own shit. So like when they produce something and then they put it on the store, they're not charging themselves 30% from that transaction. So like, let's just say Apple develops a product that's something that's similar to something else that's very popular out there.
Right.
They're gonna make their money on their app and their transaction, and then they're gonna make their money on your app and transaction. And so like it's non-competitive. Like they have
just Apple getting its hands into everybody's pocket.
Yeah, and so some of it's actually pretty ridiculous. Like if you think about it, like if read this
for
one
small
article
developers, I think this really affects them the most.
Yeah, and so Apple's way is like, oh, we're trying to put a level playing field for everyone. It really isn't. Like
it's
like
bullshit.
There's some discussions of some situations where like Apple could take and has asked for like 30% of like tuition that was given in, like, let's say you taught a course and you use some app or program in there and people had to buy in to buy your course. So like, let's say, Palo's going to teach us how to make them thick cookies and he sells it on there and then he charges us like $10. Apple wants to take $3 out of that, $10 out of him. So I think they were waiting for something to happen. They're huge. Like, we talk some BS about Fortnite, but Fortnite is a over $1 billion title itself, man.
They make
money. They've set the market for these type of games free to play.
They make Apple $1 billion on Fortnite alone. Apple gets $1 billion.
So like it isn't like it's some small little dude that's fighting these companies and losing. Like this is a big name and they have money behind themselves.
Well,
so I think they're trying to protect their customer base, and then also at the same time make sure cut some of their fees out too, because they
Well,
basically gave a 20% discount to everyone across every system, and then it was just Apple that fought back. You didn't see anything about Xbox fighting back. You didn't see
Right.
anything about PlayStation fighting back. It was just Apple, and then Google followed suit because obviously
they're in the same.
they're in the same boat.
Yeah.
So
They have the same
apparently,
type of
so
contract.
so apparently, reading some side notes and some interviews and stuff, is that the CEO of Epic has had this feeling for some time, right? But the whole idea is that there was never anything big enough to combat against Apple until Fortnite came. Fortnite's backing and Fortnite's popularity and just money making machine is what gives them the power to go toe to toe with Apple. And personally, I'm gonna fucking tell you guys right here, I'm all for Epic.
I am
I'm
too, man.
100%
Yeah.
all for Epic, bro.
So-
Fuck, it pisses me off because, man, dude, it ain't fucking easy, buying a fucking watch every time it comes out, or the phone every year. I do. I do it just because I'm an
It
electronic
ain't easy
junkie.
being
Yeah.
blingy.
I'm an electronic junkie, but this shit gets ridiculous, man. It really does, because all this stuff adds up. Apple, just dipping their hands in everything, bro. I think there's a way for everyone to get along and to make the money that they need. But when you're monopolizing and you're just keeping that clutch because you can, and it's stifling creativity, which is the one fucking thing you stood for back in the day, and now you become this fucking machine. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You got to realize that shit, And I think, in all honesty, I think whatever happens from here is going to be a huge leveling field as well for the xCloud.
Well,
I think this
because that was
whole
another
thing,
fight.
man.
That was another fight
Yes,
with Apple.
yes,
Epic
yes.
did this, like, I think Epic's
It was
been
perfect
had this
Dude, they
chamber
planned this
in
shit.
loaded. They've had it
They
loaded,
did.
dude. They've had it loaded.
Yep.
And they knew
Oh,
what they
yeah.
wanted to do. And so what they did is they built their case, like this whole thing with xCloud. So now you got Microsoft fighting them. And then all of a sudden they dropped this thing and they told them. It wasn't like they did it in secret, dude. He
Yeah.
told them, look, I'm giving every Fortnite person 20% off, and you can go, and because you don't allow it to happen, they can go to my store and do it and still play it. And it pissed them off, and boom, they dropped them off. So, like, again, like the situation before where it wasn't there, this was something that was on there, and they just don't, I feel like they want money for something that they shouldn't really be getting money for, because they didn't develop the app. They didn't do anything. They didn't give you the phone. We paid for it, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's just Apple just
And
wanting
no,
more
and-
money, putting
and
it in
I think this is a
pocket.
perfect situation, because they, you've had these two incidents happen now, and then they come across the board. They got the money to back it, and it's gonna go, like, they're gonna fight this all the way up. It isn't like, us fighting, some podcast deal with Apple. And
No, this is really, really fucking big, and
Mhm.
I think this was a long time coming, and I'm really happy to be around just to see the beginning of this, play out and see what happens, because we right now in technology, I think, are in some very delicate times, and I think this right now is the time for change. This is a time for change, and I think for a lot of creative outlets. I mean, if you think about it, what do we have, right? We have YouTube with the DMCA or DCMA ruling, but before, it was such an open environment, right? I used to make montages with some of my favorite music groups, right? And all because of money, right? You can't use that music. But what was funny was that
I see, to me, that's something different, dude. That's always been the case, man. Just because YouTube didn't enforce it, that's a completely different thing.
Right,
that's
but I think
always
this
been law.
and I just kind of feel like I kind of feel like this is all somehow going to meld together, because this is going to open the eye to Apple and Google if Epic can come out on top and win one for the for all those guys, for all of us, the gamers.
Fight against them, man, right now.
Yeah,
so.
it's going to be a really tough battle, but I think this is it. Let's just hypothetically say that they win. This is going to open the eyes, to Apple, to Google, and just make them know, because what is their biggest argument, right? The whole reason why they do this is to keep the Apple store secure, or to keep the and Google store secure. It's bullshit, man. I mean, that's not fucking how it works. That's not how it works. This shit was secure for the get-go. All right, that's Apple's big thing, is it not? There's such a secure phone and such a blah, blah, blah. You mean to tell me that my 30% is the reason why you're able to make it so secure? Bullshit. Nuh-uh.
That's what it is.
What it is.
Apple drop. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Hell no. Hell no.
I'm just rooting for Apple.
Have you seen the deductible on that phone? Block that. Block that.
I'm ballsy. I went without the accident coverage.
Oh yeah, when it was included. It's included in my plan. So I'm lucked out.
Apple
but
plan.
shit. But I still don't want to drop it because I'm like, shit, that's like $250. It's ridiculous.
You got that plan where you're getting an iPhone every year. Fine.
No, I just sell it and buy it, bro. I'm crazy like that.
You're gonna see it and buy it next year too. So
you know what?
You're feeding the machine, man. You're feeding the machine.
So are you, Pello. So are you. All right. You're running Android. Android's up on this list too. Android's hands ain't clean.
Go with Android. I don't have an Android.
They got dirty hands,
I have a
bro.
They got dirty hands too, bro. Hands are all dirty. Those robot fingers, that ain't mud on those fingers. And jazz hands. So I think we're really going to be excited, and hopefully if anything happens, if anything gets dropped, news coverage, we're going to be talking about it all the way to the top. So you can definitely be looking forward to get some coverage from Next Level. Booyah, fist bumps. All right, guys. Look, I think that is the end of our session. We had some really good talks. Please do us a favor. If you like what you guys hear or have any, constructive criticism, don't be trolling because we'll block you. But constructive criticism is always welcome. Smash that. Yes, that you can.
Definitely anything about noob.
Smash that subscribe button. Let us know how we're doing. If there's any topics or anything that you would like to hear us talk about differently, whether it's retro or anything else, let us know, man. We always love, the feedback. You can always follow us on Instagram at Next Level Official Podcast and Facebook. So hit us up. And we out. Peace. Come on, guys. Hit it. Jesus.